All right, adding and subtracting fractions is terrific once the denominators are the same. The lower number of the denominator must be the same before you add or subtract fractions. If they are not the same, then you use the lowest common multiple to make those denominators the same. For example, if I have 1 over 2, that's my denominator 2, the other denominator is 3, their lowest common multiple is actually 6. So how do I arrive at 6 on the bottom? Well, 2 times 3 is 6, and I'll do the same with the numerator, times 3. So 3 over 6 is an equivalent fraction to 1 over 2, 1/2, and it has that common denominator we want. Same dealio with 2 over 3. Its equivalent fraction, to get that to be a 6, I multiply that by 2, so I do the same thing with the top number by 2, slappy 2, and there we go, 4 over 6. Now we have 3 over 6 plus 4 over 6, because these have common denominators and they are equivalent to the fractions that we started with, so they are the same. So 3 plus 4 is 7, and we keep the denominator the same. That's important. And 7 over 6 is really 6 over 6 plus 1 over 6, or I'm sure you could work out the answer is 1 and 1/6. Mixed numbers. Now, with mixed numbers, we still need to find ourselves a common denominator, but we need to convert these into improper fractions first, so we're dealing with apples and apples. So 8 times 3 is 24, plus 5 is 29, and I can tell you that 8, remaining the denominator, that's going to be a common denominator with this 4. So whatever we get here, we're actually going to double. So I'll do this one up here. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 3 is 11 over 4. So all I'm going to do is make that an 8 by doubling it. And of course, if I double that, I get 22. So now I've got improper fractions representing these, and I've got a common denominator. So that equals 29 plus 22 equals 51 over 8. And then I'll work out, I'll just get that little puppy out of the way. We don't need you. And then I have to work out how many 8s go into 51. Well, I can tell you 8 times 8 is 64. That's too many. 8 times 7 is too many. 8 times 6 will give us 48. So that gives us a remainder of 3/8. And there's our answer. Now multiplying, when you're multiplying fractions, the denominators do not need to be the same. You simply multiply the numerators together and the denominators together. So easy peasy. So when you have 1 over 2, you're going to multiply 1 times 3 and 2 times 7, and that gives you your answer, and that's 3 over 14. Can I simplify that further? I cannot. When you have mixed numbers, it's important that you convert them to improper fractions. Before we can do this, let's see, how do I make 3 and 1/3? 3 3s is 9, plus 1 is 10/3. And then I multiply that by 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. Okay, and I simply multiply these together and multiply these together. But to make our lives simpler, when we're in this form multiplication, we can actually cancel out like this. So there are a common factor between 3 and 12 is actually 3. So we can cancel, so we can cancel 3 and divide 12 by that same number 3, reducing that further. Now looking at we'll use another color. So looking across on the diagonal, these, do they share a common factor? They sure do. 5 goes into 5 one time, and 5 goes into 10 two times. So now we're dealing with something that's a whole lot easier. 2 times 4 over 1 times 1, which equals 4 times 2 is 8, 1 times 1 is 1, which equals the whole number 8. So you could multiply these together and then do the process of canceling and simplifying them afterward, but why not just do it from the get-go? Where are we? Dividing fractions, we're actually going to turn them into multiplication. Again, I don't care if the denominators are different. Well, I mean, I care, but not in that way. Mixed numbers, again, must be converted. So to divide by a fraction, easy. You multiply by its reciprocal. The reciprocal is when you swap, you flip it over, the numerator and the denominator. What am I talking about? What are you talking about, Mr. Burson? Let me show you. 2 over 5, we keep that the same. So now because we're dividing by 3 over 7, we're actually multiplying by 7 over 3. This is the reciprocal of that. upside down. So now we've turned division into multiplication. Let's check and see if we can do any canceling. There's no common factors along the diagonals, so we'll have to do 7 times 2 is 14, 5 times 3 is 15, and that's as reduced can be. Now, remember the rules. If we're dividing or multiplying, we have to convert these mixed numbers into improper fractions. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1 is 9 over 4. And this one is going to be 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1 is 4 over 3. So if we've got 9 over 4 divided by 4 over 3, then we have, swapping this around to its reciprocal, there we go, we've got 9 over 4 times 3 over 4. Can we cancel? No. Can we cancel? No. Be careful here. You might be tempted to start canceling out, but you're not allowed to cancel. No cancel. You can't cancel this out because you're in division form. You have to look at your multiplication form, and that's when that works. So be careful. You've been warned. 27 over 16. Can we simplify that? Well, we can by turning it into a mixed number, and that gives us 1 and 11/16. Have a good time.